What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Marvel's Avengers, give my final thoughts and impressions on this game before the game releases. So this is kind of like my preview series, where I just go over my opinions on a game or a movie. Right? Hopefully, one day we can get movies again before they release. Obviously, there's been a lot that I've said, both good and bad, about Avengers, so I'm going to try and put all that together, talk about the beta, all that stuff in this video. I do have one more video for Avengers to go up before the game comes out. It's where I'm going to be actually predicting review scores on this game. Obviously, I'll cover anything, if something big happens on this game, any more leaks, stuff like that, and obviously there'll be plenty of videos once the game actually comes out. But let's talk about this. So, yeah, my opinion has gone very, very up and down, honestly. It's such a tough thing with this game because, as I've said, and I really do think I need to, nail this in people's heads, I do want this game to be good. I truly, truly do. I want to love this game. I want to play this game day one. And here's the deal. Here's ultimately what's going to happen. I'm going to get this game day one. Okay, I didn't get the deluxe editions, the upgraded editions are to get it September 1st. So I'm not going to be playing it September 1st myself. I am going to be looking out for the story. I would like to see, how the game ends, all that stuff. Yeah, I may spoil it for myself, but I may do stuff like that. But I'm going to play this game the first instant I'm allowed to, right? September 4th. And I really want to enjoy it. I'm going to try and play as much of the story as I can. I want to play it online as much as I can with as many people as I can. I want this game to be a lot of fun. And to be honest with you, I feel like it will be. I think one of the things with this game, or how I look at this game, is that there's a lot of fun, and I think the game is going to really get me at first. The biggest problem, as I've said numerous times, is the hook, the repeat of this game is designed to play it over and over and over. Get gear, get upgrades, level up your characters, level up the skills. These characters play very, very differently, right? So playing a mission from one character differs from the other. But here's the deal, and this also comes to kind of the weakness. The characters do function very, very different from each other. I've agreed with that. I've stood on that side, and I am going to stay on that side. The problem is the mission structure just is not for me. And I get it, and you could say, well, Alex, the game is just not going to be for you. I don't think that's true fully. I feel like I am going to enjoy the single-player missions. I feel like that'll probably be my favorite part to it. I think I'm going to enjoy, in a way, leveling up characters. Look, I've played Destinies before. I want to, like raids and stuff like that, playing with friends, doing harder missions to get better gear to do those missions again. Like, I can do that. I have done it before. I do like that model in a way of those kind of games. I don't want it in every single game I play, right? But, it's fine, and I think it's going to be overall fine with this game. I think that's kind of the biggest thing. That's kind of what you'll probably hear me echo in the review predictions video is this game, I think, is going to be solid. I don't think it's going to be the most outrageously good game in the world. I don't think it's going to be the worst game in the world. I think the kind of style that this game is going for is definitely going to appeal to a certain group of people. And if you're not in that group, which you could argue even I'm not, I think the game, again, is going to kind of rest on average. You know what I mean? It's going to satisfy us in some ways. It's going to disappoint us in some ways. Maybe it'll surprise us in other ways, right? Maybe good and bad ways of surprising us, right? But that's kind of what I'm expecting. I think that the people that are into the repetitiveness, and again, I'm not saying like there's anything wrong with that. I'm saying that I think the mission structure and what you're doing, and again, we're only going based off the beta. What we kind of know so far from the story missions is, I think, honestly, a lot of optimism. Like, I'm very optimistic about the missions, okay, the actual story missions. When it gets to war zones, drop zones, stuff like that, I become less optimistic. But in terms of the story, I think it can be, honestly, really darn solid. I truly, truly think that. And again, the strength of this game is in the characters, is in the diversity in them, and not literally like they're different from, like, literally they play different, you level them up, they are their own unique characters. Okay, that, in my opinion, and playing with your friends, by the way, online, that is the strength of this game. I think a surprise strength could end up being the story. I really, really do. But honestly, again, that's kind of where I stand on this game. Is I think, and I've said this a couple of times to a couple of people before, I think if I had to predict like my own play style with this game, and looking through the months of the games coming out, look, this game comes out September 4th, okay? I really have been looking for this game to give me a couple weeks of really solid enjoyment. And again, you could be saying, well, Alex, you put your expectations pretty low. And honestly, I feel like I kind of have. And I feel like they can easily be reached, honestly, in that way. I want it to get me to Mafia, the Mafia remake, Mafia 1 Definitive Edition. I want it to get me to October, where we're going to get like 30 games, right? There's a lot of games coming out in October, because ultimately, again, it's not exactly like Predator Hunting Grounds to me. It's not exactly like Dead by Daylight, but I do see myself with Avengers playing the game a ton up front, which you could argue, by the way, a lot of games do this, especially games that constantly add content. You play it early on, you play it, nonstop, you really level up, and you see everything there is to see. Gets you a couple weeks, maybe a couple months. You hop off, and then new things bring you back. I think that's fair. I don't think there's anything wrong. Firstly, I don't think there's anything wrong with a person doing that, like having that be their system. I also don't think there's anything wrong with the game doing that, because ultimately it's kind of a good model. You know you're going to get people up front. You know you're going to get me up front. But then, yeah, I mean, after 2-3 weeks, Mafia comes out. Then we got October, Star Wars Squadrons, Crash 4. I'm a big Crash guy. I love Star Wars. So, like, I'm going to play. And those games come out the same day, right? Like the first week of October. So that immediately is like, ooh, well, I can't play both of those and Mafia and Avengers and anything else that, has come out, or maybe updates or DLC, or what if Ghost of Tsushima's, free multiplayer comes out? Like, you know what I mean? I physically cannot play all 5 of those things at the same time. Something has to be put down. But what can get me back? Well, Hawkeye can get me back. Spider-Man can get me back. 15 DLC characters can get me back. That's why I was so, I think, upbeat in that DLC leak video that I did a few days ago, is because honestly, that kind of provided me a lot of optimism and a lot of like, yeah, you know what? I feel good about it in a way that I haven't really felt in a little bit. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird, because again, I have been I've been very positive about this game. I've been very upfront with that. I want this game to be good, but at the same time, there are some weaknesses. There's some things I'm very scared about. But reading those DLC characters and seeing them all through, it's like, you know what? I really feel like that's going to get me back. I really feel like every single time now the question you could be saying is, are they going to be really fleshed out? Are they really going to be different from each other? Are we going to start to see repeats? People are scared. I can see how people are scared. I'm a little scared. Will Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange act alike? Will War Machine be like an Iron Man skin? You know what I mean? I mean, we'll have to see if they start getting pretty repetitive, and then it's like, all right, well then really all you're trying to do is just, slam characters into our faces, right? To kind of get us like excited. We'll have to see if they can make it work, but just in terms of like on paper idea, it's amazing. So again, I think this game can be very solid. I feel like for me, my personal prediction on myself, even like other people's review scores, I feel like a lot of it's going to come down to it excels in some things and it really fails at others. And I think that kind of leads to an average-ish game. The thing is, again, I think it's going to appeal to people. I think it's going to be a fine game and a fun game to play, but it's all, as I always say, these are just my opinions. And honestly, how you guys view the game are just your opinions. And I try and say that, again, in like every video, because ultimately, this game may be somebody's favorite game of the year. It could be their game of the year. For another person, they may hate it. For someone like me or someone like, whoever, and I don't even know this, by the way, about myself, you could play it and you could say, this is a fine game. I didn't, it's not amazing. It's not the worst. It's a game. It's a video game that's out, and I'm playing it, and I'm enjoying it. That could very well happen, and I think that's actually okay. The other thing to kind of put it in there right now is your expectation. Where do you expect this game? That's kind of where things get dicey. If you're expecting this game to be a Batman Arkham game for the Avengers, well, obviously we're not getting that. If you expect this game to be like a single player dominated, like it's telling a tale of these characters and all this stuff, we're not getting that. I mean, again, I think the single player could actually be a surprise hit, but we're ultimately not getting what I just described, right? This is a game that you're meant to play with your friends. You're meant to feel like you're part of the Avengers, doing things with each other. Now, again, do Avengers wait in elevators together? Do Avengers go down, the same looking hallways, every single time? Those are kind of the things that upset me. Those are the things that I feel like don't exactly all get pulled together, but it's where you set your expectations. I'm not expecting this game to be my game of the year. And you could say, well, it's a Marvel's Avengers game. You kind of should expect a certain quality of it. I think, yeah, I think that's fair. I think if you hate this game and you're saying, okay, well, I'm going into it and it's like, I want this game to be outrageously good because of the property, and it just flat out isn't. I think you have every right to say that. And for me, we can all say our own opinions. My own opinion is I'm just expecting it to be a solid game that I want to have fun with. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, well, because it's Avengers, I want this game to be the greatest thing of all time. You know what I mean? And by the way, that kind of changes. So you could say, like, I'm hypocritical on it because, like, I don't know, I'm judging it basically on its own, you could say. So if, like, an Uncharted 5 comes out, though, I'm going to compare it to the previous games. You could say, well, you held that up to you know what I mean? I do that. I mean, some games I think I do hold up to a certain level, whether it be because of the developer or the past history. And some games I kind of just hold up to itself. It's also just the overall situation. You know what I mean? I feel like, yeah, you can hold up Avengers to a high level because of the property. But for me, again, it's a game that I want to get me through 3 weeks. That's what I want this game to do. Get me through 3 weeks of nonstop fun and feeling like I'm progressing and doing all these unique things and having a nice story. Do that, and then get me to come back every single time there's DLC. That's what I want from this game. I think that's achievable. I think if that's your expectation, then I think it can reach it. And again, you could say, well, that's stupid. I mean, honestly, everybody has their own thing. It's a video game. It's a video game that's going to come out with a lot of other video games, and that's where I'm expecting it. So, and I honestly do feel like it can definitely reach my expectations. Is it going to reach everybody's? Probably not. I mean, honestly, absolutely not, really, right? So, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Are you ready for this game? What do you think about it? What are your kind of final thoughts of this game leading into it? Like I said, we're going to be having videos. I'm going to do a video predicting the review scores of this game. I'll have another video when the review scores go up, like Metacritic and all that stuff. I'll be talking about the game. We'll go over the story stuff, like the ending, all that kind of stuff. Loads of Avengers videos coming to you guys over the next couple of weeks. Make sure you're subscribed and have the bell icon turned on so you guys see all that stuff, and I will see you all on the next video.